and it went straight to YouTube. Anyway, okay.
There we go. All right, we are live. Hello, everybody that's tuning in. Hello, Reina. Thank you for joining us on this Power Talks Live. How are you doing?
Anyway, okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I just want to see if YouTube is up and running. I believe we are.
Yes, we are. Yes. Okay.
Great. There we go.
Okay.
Perfect. All right. So today we are talking about an alternative to mindset or alternative for mindset. So I'm excited to pick your brain as well a bit, Reina, to explore this new realm, right?
Absolutely.
So we are all, if you go to any self-development video or teaching, there is one of the first things they talk about is mindset. You need to work, it's 80% mindset, 20% action, right? But now there's different mindsets for different stages in one's journey, right? So if you do not change your mindset regularly, then you are going to be bringing in an old mindset into a new energy, and then you'll experience that feeling of being stuck and you're not moving forward, or things are not working out the way that it should. So what would you say is the biggest obstacle when it comes to having a set mindset?
Yes, that's a good question. Right. Okay. I believe that from my experience, what I have experienced is the change, or how flexible I am to change. Or say, for example, if I have established a habit of doing a regular workout, for example, I had this some time ago. I used to do Taibo workouts very religiously, 5 times a week, 1 hour each. And when I kind of didn't want to carry on doing my Taibo workouts, I felt like I'm cheating on it. Do you understand what I mean? It's like it's not fair, for example. So I had this mindset of, yes, I'm gonna get fit and I'm gonna do that. But it's like, how flexible was I to change and to explore new things as my body and my mind was changing? For example, my body needed more flexibility in terms of like doing some yoga or Pilates or Qigong, for example, right? But then I kept feeling like I am kind of cheating on the type of workout. So the biggest obstacle for me was the habit of, something in this certain way now. How can you kind of shift it and be okay with that shift?
Yeah, no, definitely. And also, I think it's the beginning stages, like amazing coach Evan Pagan. He talks something about the getting out of the gravity velocity zone when it comes to habits. So you can see it as like this rocket taking off. So the first 30 days, you're busy climbing up and fighting gravity, and it's your old habits pulling you down, right? Until you reach the point where you're out of the velocity zone, and then it becomes easier and it comes down. So it's creating the first 30 days of the habit is I think is the hardest. And I think especially if we take a look at how everything is interconnected, right? And the phases of the moon is very prominent in how it affects our physical body as well. So I think if you start your, let's say, you take your Taibo and you started in the middle of the moon cycle, right? I don't know if that's going to be more difficult to carry on and see it through than if you had to start it on new moon, right? Or full moon.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
So
yeah.
because you're starting in basically like in a half sector. So yeah, I think that it could be that. But the alternative that I would like us to talk about is something called fluid mind, right? And it's basically come from a space of detachment to basically all outcomes, but not forgetting the end result, right? Because we all have a vision that we are driving towards where we're going. Because if you don't have a vision, you are basically driving on the road without lines in the middle of the night. So you don't know where you are, which side of the lane you're on, right? But if you have a vision where you're going and you detach from the outcome, but you're going towards that direction, you've created a momentum and you're going that way, and it comes actually back to your morning routine, right? Because if your morning routine is set up for success, and that if you set it up to basically get your um, to make progress towards your goal in your first hour, in your power hour, right? Or in your first 3 hours of your day. And then after that, whatever you do, you can do whatever you want because you know the first 3 hours already got you the momentum going towards your vision,
Mhm.
right? So, what would you say is the best way to become fluid with our mind?
I do speak on all of our lives about this exact thing. Tune into your heart and what you need. It can be different every day, and in every now moment as well. So you have to be very much in synchronicity with your heart, your mind, and your body. So they're not like separate things from you. It's you as a whole. So I think in order to be fluid, first of all, we need to be open for change. We need to be open for
Mm,
exploration. And how we are open for it is you have this intuitive kick um, about what is it that you want to do. And not because you have to do it, because most of the time we work on the, oh, I have to do this or I have to do that, not what you want to do. And okay, we in certain situations, we need to do what we have to do because there
mm,
is no other way, right? But what if we shift that perspective and we are open for this fluidity and you don't just have to do it because you have to do it, but say, for example, when you get anxious and you're like stressed out, or the language that you use for yourself. What if you see it from a different perspective and you are excited about this? You still have the same kick of adrenaline within, but instead of being anxious, you're actually excited about this. So be open to explore different ways of being because you can you can co-create you in a way that it is aligned with your heart's purpose and mission. It's aligned with your beliefs, and your beliefs might change. Yesterday, you might have believed that you are an introvert and you are really a not a people's person. But today, you might be open for networking, for outreach, for being there for other people and sharing your experience with them. Be open for that shit. And this is how you
mm,
become fluid. I think the more we exercise this fluidity, the more you get used to just flow through life and then disconnect from the outcome, as you said earlier, and just enjoy, on the way. There is struggle is a choice, and being set to something because you have been told that you need to do this, you need to do that. I'm sure people on our live relate to this as well. Hi, Nigel. I can see you are watching us live. When was the last time that it was something that you had the mindset to do because of your programming, how you grew up, but you felt into your heart that you didn't want to do that because it was no longer aligned. And even though you didn't, you still went on and you do it only to sit and struggle thereafter.
mm. Yeah, well, all right. To answer that question, actually, quite recently, because I believe that when it comes to becoming a fluid in your mind, you need a lot. Everything will bombard you, but then you just need to okay, let go, right? Because detachment. So you'll find your mind is a very interesting thing, right? It doesn't matter what you give it. It will either be, or your mind isn't biased, right? It's not only going to give you good the whole time. It's going to be good, bad. It's going to give you the two different sides of the story directly after each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just up to you. You'll be like, okay, should I do this? Should I do this? Because you think it's you thinking the thoughts, but it's just your mind playing out different scenarios by the inputs and the prompts that you just gave it. All right. So let's say you set your mindset, okay, I really want to focus on this. But then your mind said, okay, because of your past programming or like external events that happens, like, okay, but what if this, what I'm focusing on will not work,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it will just take that prompt and give you all the reasons why it won't work. But if you say, okay, and if you catch yourself, so, okay, if you take a step back and change your point of view, right, and say, okay, what is this voice in my head saying, right? Why? Don't even ask why can't you make it, because did you just give it more food, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just observing it, and then if you really want to give it food, it's like, okay, but what if it does work out? And then you will see your mind will start, obviously, because it already has prompts and previously of negative, it will try to feed in. But just if you bring it back to positive, feed the positivity the whole time, right? Then eventually it will change the story.
Yeah.
But it comes back to what you said is, detach, change your perspective, drop into your heart, let your mind just flow. And I think comes back to the exercise you did the other day with the waterfall of just getting out of your mind and into your heart.
Yeah.
And I think that is what inspired actually Fluid Mind.
Yeah.
And
That's good.
it's just changing one's look of how things normally are. Because if you're going to have a fixed mindset, it's really limiting you in a way of different possibilities and different perspectives. It's not a bad thing, but it's a limiting thing. Because why did you have to change your mindset in the first place? Because you had a mindset, but now you have to change it. So how long is it going to take before you have to change this mindset?
Yeah.
Right? It's like putting a CD that's going on repeat until
Yeah.
it's done.
Yeah.
You're going to listen to the same thing over and over again until you have to put a new one in. Instead of
Exactly.
putting on the radio, and you can just tune to whichever station you want.
Mm-hmm. No, that is true. And I think a question that really has helped me as well in this is this belief mine? You know, you say, you speak about yourself, and you can speak about yourself negatively even without realizing, you know, bringing this feeling of you are so small, you are not enough, you are broken. And you know what? You are none of this. You are not broken. You are absolutely enough. You don't need a status. You don't need to be anybody. You don't need to prove nothing to nobody, not even to yourself. And by feeling those things, you are only sitting in struggle. But here
Mm.
I'm going to challenge you. What if there is a different way of being? And what if, as soon as you feel this, you ask yourself, is this my belief? And then take a decision. Is this your belief? If this is not your belief, that you are too big, too small, too young, too old, too fat, too slim, too anything, choose and shift it with a productive belief, and keep choosing every single time when this negative belief and negative self-talk comes in. Keep choosing the more positive one, keep choosing the more constructive one, keep choosing it until it becomes a habit. I was such an introvert. You have to see my first videos online. I was like, even, you know, a couple of years ago, I was like, I think I had a spiritual awakening. And I was like, you know, the way I was speaking about myself, or the way of my negative self-talk, it took a great way and amount of courage, I would say, to stand up in the mirror and to say, I love you, and to believe it and to feel it and to really honor myself. And as a mother, as a person, as a person in business, whatever the hats are, it's just so liberating to just accept yourself as you are, not expecting more, not expecting less. not be more or less, just be. Just be, and be so happy and be so fulfilled that when you tune into your breath, you're still here on this physical body, breathing, right?
Mm.
So this is how you kind of become the person that you are meant to be, that you always were, by letting go of expectations, letting go of programming, letting go of all these layers of untruths one by one: shame, guilt, abandonment, rejection, everything, 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 to reach to the point where you are love, you are bliss, you are joy, you are amazing and magnificent, and you are enough.
Mm.
It's a choice to set your mind on what you want to be. It's a choice. Won't you agree?
Yeah, definitely. And also, if this choice is aligned with where you are going and with who you are, who you see yourself as, right? Because it comes down to self-image as well. If your self-image isn't up to standards to where you're aiming, right, you're always going to fall short in your mind's eye, because in your mind's eye, you this little young person over here, and then but you're striving for, I'm going over here, right? um, it's all great and well, but if you don't change your self-image, which is also a choice at the end of the day,
Yeah,
um, and
absolutely.
at any given moment you can grow. It takes only but a moment to become a small little pebble to a huge boulder on the beach. It all just comes from changing your perspective. And yes, when it comes to um, our state of mind, um, if you if certain exterior um, circumstances come into challenge your choice that you've made, that is when you are put on trial to see if you actually believe what you said that you believe. Because if you're going to wilt and give in to that and not pass the test, right, then your little guy will just have feels like, I told you you're not that good enough. I told you you're a pebble, not a boulder on the beach. But if you stick to it and say, I am this, that I am, all right, then you will, and you make your choice with unshakable conviction, right, then you are able to move mountains.
And oh boy, won't you get tested once you set intention and you have a clear vision of who you are at your core, and this is who you are becoming, that you are not your traumas and you are not the struggles that you have been through, and these things, they have not broken you, but they have shaped you into the person that you are today, that you are there to serve others. And yes, although that was not the most amazing things to go through, whatever that struggle is, you just need to give yourself so much grace and keep on the vision of who you are. And that's why I bring in these conversations mental health and the comparison to physical health, how physical health is your responsibility and mental health is your responsibility. And mental health is your duty of care. There is plenty of research out there that is done on remission of mental health and spontaneous remission of mental health. When you shift your perspective, anything is possible and healing is possible. Shall you allow it to become possible for yourself if you are open? And sometimes we don't see how, and we don't know, we don't need to know the how, because if you have the intention to heal yourself from your struggles, then this is a possibility for you in the quantum field. The universe is going to work with you.
Yeah, and it's going to open the doors for the synchronicities just to flow in. And if you don't have the resources and you use your resourcefulness to follow your synchronicities, the resources will follow naturally. I speak out of experience. I've seen it happen time and time again. It just blows my mind every single time. Yes, it doesn't happen like this instantaneously, but step by step you build a bridge, right? You can't just build a bridge overnight. It takes a time and takes a while.
Yes,
And
absolutely. I wanted to cover so we say when we talk about mindset, we say positive or negative mindset, but I think it's more about a constructive mindset that works for you and a destructive mindset that works against you. So as you guys know, I work on self-image, and self-image for me in its all beauty and existence as a whole, not just your body, but what are the root causes of your beliefs ingrained deep inside of you that you might actually carry through generations. If you go to that root, and you see that sometimes it's not even yours, this belief, it's somebody else's, that you have heard it and you have believed, because what you believe is true, even if it's not true, it's going to become your truth. So how can we use this power of choice to construct our mindset and make it a constructive mindset that is going to work for us, not against us? And how can you, every single morning when you open your eyes here in this physical world that we live in, choose grace over struggle? How can you in every now moment maintain the feeling and the vibrational frequency of faster and higher emotional being, such as joy and bliss and love, unconditional love for yourself, rather than choosing anger, resentment, victimhood, shame, guilt? Those are all good. There is no good and bad, it's just a different frequency, like the radio, right? How can you absolutely unplug yourself consciously? Because as soon as you know that your mindset is not where you want it to be, then it's your choice to stay in it.
Yeah.
Or we can find excuses about, oh, this happened to me and they did this to me and they did that to you and all that stuff. But you are right here and right now at this moment of time. What are you doing and how do you show up as the best version of yourself, who you have the absolute birthright to create in every now moment?
Yeah, one thing that comes to me is winning the day, right? If you win the day and you do it over and over again every single day, if you do it for a week, you won the week. If you do it for a month, you won the month. If you do it for a year, you literally won the whole year.
Okay.
So it all comes down to your morning routine and how can you love yourself from the first hour of your day, right? So first thing is disconnect, right, from the world, because where does most of our criticism come from? It comes from our external stimulus, which made its way inside. And then once it's inside, you give it fuel and it just starts a wildfire and starts burning all the bridges, right? Which you spent your whole life from a child building up, right? So if you can take in from the moment you wake up, right? And I actually did this the other day, 2 nights ago. I rewrote what is my ultimate morning routine that I want to go through, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be an hour. It can be more, it can be less. But what is it that you want to do? How would you win your morning, right? And if you don't do that, right, have compassion for yourself. Just strive for tomorrow. At the end of the day, set your intention to be better than what I was today, right? Then you already set your intention when you wake up. Your subconscious has already worked through with your intention that you want to, your pure intention is to be better than what you were yesterday. And then you get up and you strive for that. So an exercise that I can really give for you guys is to write out, all right, how you have to win 3 things. First thing is you need to wake up your body, because once your body is awake, your whole subconscious is awake, because your conscious mind is here and your subconscious mind is the rest of your body all the way to your toes. That's why your subconscious is much bigger than your conscious mind, right? And so how do you wake your body up firstly? And then what can you do to win your mindset over, right? And then how can you calm yourself back down? Because if you conquer your mindset, so one thing that I love to do is to go and swim. And I'm so excited because it's winter here, and the colder it is, the bigger the mindset shift that you get, right? For me, I find it so fascinating is walking from my room to the swimming pool, everything that your body does to get it out of that situation, right? Like, you don't need to go to the bathroom once you leave the room, but once you're at the pool, it's like, I really need to go to the bathroom now, right? And then you're like, no, I am getting in. And then as you feel that your mind starts giving you like excuses, you just dive in. And then once you've done that, right, you literally overcame the biggest obstacle that you will ever overcome the whole day, and that is your own mind. Right? It's not, yes, you get other physical benefits for being in the cold water, right? But overcoming your mind, and the first thing in the morning, nothing can stop you then. Yes, other external things will come in, but you have then the power to, you took back your power. Absolutely. And with your intention. So yeah, that is a exercise that you guys can do.
Yeah, that's really cool. Just gonna go quickly through the comments. Nigel says, I got into personal development because I wasn't happy with me. I wanted to improve. As you say, Raina, we are enough. I agree. I had critical parents. Find it hard to accept compliments. Always focus on the light and you won't see the dark. The will and the concentration. Thank you, Nigel. Yes, you are enough. And we love you.
Yes, we do. I just could do on that. Sorry, just on that point of Nigel that said he had critical parents. I'm blessed with loving parents, and even getting compliments from them, I feel like inside, like, am I worthy to receive those compliments? Right? It's still, I think there's a collective blockage when it comes to receiving compliments. I don't think it's, yes, it is on a personal level. That's what created the big blockage in the first place. But I think for a lot of people that are really in that environment where it's harsh and there's absolutely no compliments coming in, and then all of a sudden a compliment comes in, they either take it and it changes their life forever, or they're like, no, it's not. You're just saying this, what do you want? Right? I think that is a big thing, is people using compliments to take advantage of people as well. So I think that is why we are so reluctant to it. But
it's good, because on the subject of giving and receiving, then if you are not open to receive a compliment and say, oh, you look really handsome today, Ruan. If you are not open to receive, so beautiful. Thank you. If you are not open to receive the compliment, how are you expecting to receive anything else from the abundance of the universe? You know, it's really something to ponder upon. And when somebody tells you, you are beautiful, you are pretty, you are amazing, tell them thank you, but like, feel it from your heart. You really thank you and give so much grace to yourself. It's like really interesting how people react. And I think it goes down to self-love and the appreciation of self and the unconditional love giving to yourself, which not a lot of people are doing because of these critics that we have received, this collective thing, the judgment, the comparison, and all these things that once we are aware that they're there, we can then let go of and release.
Yeah, definitely.
Sam says, oh, I love that. Win the day, win the week, win the month. Exactly. Win the moment, Nigel says. Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. I love that book. Love you guys too. Yes. Yes. I just say thank you now. Well done, Nigel. Thank you for accepting.
Yeah. I find it so fascinating how everything just works out in the end, right? When, especially if we strive, because we all strive to be best, right? And if we want to win the moment, as Nigel says, we need to firstly know what our intention is. If you know what your intention is and you verbally speak it out loud, right, then don't keep it for yourself. There's a story about this guy went on a spiritual quest. He left everything behind and he went on and he's looking for this gate, right? He said, okay, he's going to walk east because otherwise if we go this way, he's going to walk into the ocean. So he's just going to walk east. So as he walked, now he's looking, so okay, he's going to be guided. But now he's like, the whole time in his head is like, where's this place? Where's this place? How is he on the right path? Is he not? And then when he asked, like, if I only had a map, it would make things easier. Then I know where I'm going. Then the angel said, okay, here's a map. And then call him Michael for now. It's like, then Michael's like, okay, but I've been wondering this whole time, couldn't you have given it to me earlier? Then the angel said, no, but you only asked for it now.
Yeah.
Right. But in his mind, he's been the whole journey, he's been pondering it in his mind and keeping it in there. He didn't verbally express it. So when it comes to intention to win the moment is to use what that story teaches, right? Proclaim it. We have the power of creating sound, which is divine sound, right? Doesn't matter what we say, right? Because it carries a vibratory state and that carries more information than the actual words that we say. So the intention that we give, right, is really the secret sauce which makes the meal taste so good.
That is so true. Exactly. It's very, very important to go about and set that intention. And I always say for the highest good of all concerned, because then it's not only about you, but it's about everybody that your light touches. And I think there was, I think I've heard your light impacts 75,000 people in your diameter. So like how big is this, only by you sitting there feeling unworthy, how is your light impacting other people? And how when you sit there and you feel enough and you feel loved and supported, because you always are, you feel like you're impacting and your light is shining and people around you, they feel better even if they don't know where this comes from. They feel a bit lighter. There's something shifted within them. It's very important to become conscious about the power that we have within, because we are really powerful beings, very, very powerful indeed. And the more we sustain the frequency and the vibration of those amazing, beautiful feelings and emotions, the more of it we're going to attract. And the same thing applies to the negative. The more you sit and struggle, you're feeling sorry for yourself, the more of it you attract. It's not magic, it's universal law, same as the physical laws. So we need to be very focused and consistent on living a conscious life. If we want to be the change that we want to see in the world, and if we want to impact the world in a better way.
Definitely. And also how we show up in every given moment. I love smiling, right? And people who smile, because it's like adding fuel to the fire, right? To the flame. It just blows up, right? And during lockdown, when everybody used to wear masks, so a lot of people lost their smiles. They forgot that they can smile through their eyes, right? And I just loved going to, if I had to go to the store to get groceries and stuff like that for the house, and I'll just smile underneath the mask. Nobody can see that you smile, but then you just catch somebody's eye, and then you see the eyes go from like dull to like starting to light up, right? And that causes a chain reaction, because even if they don't know that you smile to them, they just felt a difference within their being, and that's your light just radiating and permeating and breaking barriers and breaking walls down at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Okay, so let me just see. Be careful with what words you choose. Yes, words are like spells. Great session, Nigel. We appreciate you being here, showing up. Sam and whoever else is watching on the sideline, not commenting. We appreciate that you are here. We welcome you to show up and let a comment. The greater good. Yes, the power of awareness. Neville Goddard is a good one. I love Neville's teachings. Really powerful, very deep as well. Any last words, Ruan, on this topic of mindset?
What I got that I wanted to share for the last words is embrace the dark side and embrace the light. Right? We've all had not just this life where we've done maybe even terrible things, right? And even we've done amazing things, terrible things, which even maybe hurt people, right? Intentionally. Now, embrace that area of your life because you did the best that you could with the knowing that you had, right? Events led up to why that happened, right? A master knows that if you look back, there's only one road that was the highest good for you to be where you are now, right? What happened needed to happen for you to be where you are now. But if you look forward, the possibilities are endless. It's just for you to choose and embrace your light and your dark side. And even go as far back as your previous lifetimes, right? We've all had times where we were like maybe like the most terrible leader of a country, right? Which promoted slavery. We never know, right? Embrace that area of your life and that aspect of your life. Love it unconditionally, right? There's no, you won't be sent as a lot of like in some religions say like you'll go to hell because you do this. No, unconditional love, right? Have that for yourself. Embrace your dark side, embrace your light side, embrace every aspect of your life. Let this love permeate and radiate through, and not just touch your life, but everyone that you encounter, and change the physical grid where you walk. So yes, that is what I have for you guys.
Yes,
and you, Reina.
And forgive yourself as well, you know, allow the love to shine through the forgiveness that you give to yourself first. You can sit there and be hard on yourself, but why not choose to forgive yourself? Because you didn't know any better for whatever happened in your life. Just forgive yourself and choose to be a better person. Choose to show up as the best version of yourself in every now moment, because you deserve it. You are here for a reason. You're here to fulfill your mission and your purpose. So thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for joining in. It's been a pleasure having this power talk with you, Reina, as always, and we're looking forward for the one next week. If you haven't signed up for our weekly newsletter to know when we are going live, I'll put the link in the description below. Also join our Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook page. And also check out our website. All the links will be in the description below. Thank you so everybody for joining. It's been amazing. Thank you, Reina.
Thank you. Until next time.
Live long.